Your first responsibility in life, your very first Dharma, is to yourself, not to your work, not to your community, not even to your family, to yourself. Sounds unconventional, disruptive, maybe even a little selfish. But this unexpected truth is not an invitation to selfishness or even a license to neglect others. It's a foundational principle passed down through thousands of years of Indian wisdom. It's actually echoed every time you board a plane in the pre-flight briefing. Put your oxygen mask on first before helping others with theirs. The ancient yogis of India were the OG original self-help guides. They were teaching self-care and boundaries long before we ever used those words. Not to make us selfish, but to make us self-aware, to remind us that when we're not breathing steadily ourselves, the help we offer others may come from a desire to fill that emptiness, from trying to earn approval, belonging, love, instead of from a self-replenishing wellspring of oxygen within. On an airplane, it's simple. You can see the oxygen tube. You can make sure it's unobstructed. And if there's a problem, you've got the experts, the flight attendants to help. And with actual oxygen, we know the solution. But what about the oxygen that fuels our sense of safety, vitality, worthiness? When we're running on empty, we know the feeling. Frantic, impatient, making short-sighted decisions, snapping at the people we love. What happens? Our work suffers. Our relationships fray. The very things we long for, connection, peace, purpose, all suffer. That's where family, culture, and society step in. Well-intentioned, they hand us definitions of success, of belonging, of happiness, and sometimes those definitions match who we are, and they oxygenate us. But other times, they don't. They're often cookie-cutter formulas that leave us feeling only partially oxygenated. One of my clients discovered this in a very personal way. Her husband is a successful and celebrated business person. He thrives in the structure society praises: discipline, persistence, well-laid plans, relentless forward motion. He ends his days tired, but fulfilled. And every morning, he's wide awake, ready to continue climbing his formidable mountain. His oxygen is replenished by the qualities of the astrological Saturn. But for her, it didn't work that way. Whenever she tried to build her business like he did, she felt inadequate, not good enough, like she was failing. She ended her days drained, and in the morning, pulled the covers over her head, heavy with the thought of another day like that. Through our work together, she realized the problem wasn't her. It was the model she was trying to copy. Her chart leaned more toward Venus and Neptune, not Saturn. She wasn't built to bulldoze forward through sheer force of will. Her oxygen came from receptivity, from listening to her emotions, her intuition, the subtle sparks of inspiration that arrived in her quieter moments. When she honored that, she found her rhythm, small rituals that nourished her, adapting, flowing, letting her intuition guide her. And suddenly, she could put her gifts into the world with energy to spare. She woke up joyful, with an easy focus. And when she tapped into her own natural way of being, she found she could even honor her Saturn, put in the effort that felt less like work, less like bulldozing, and far more like calling. Saturn's discipline is oxygen for some. Venus and Neptune's receptivity is oxygen for others. Neither is wrong. But what energizes one person may drain another. Force yourself into someone else's molds, and the very breath we breathe becomes a struggle. And that's where the gift of astrology comes in. It shows you where your personal vitality is, the breath that revives you. Each sign has its own way of breathing fully, of feeling alive. And your sun, it's the perfect place to start. If you want to see what oxygen looks like for you, you can join my free newsletter below. I'll be sharing a sign-by-sign look at oxygen for each zodiac sign. Think of it as a personalized map of what keeps you alive and thriving. And if you're coming in after the series is over, you can still find it in the archives. Your sun is central, essential, but it's only the beginning. Your whole natal chart reveals the deeper texture of what replenishes you. If you'd like to explore that more fully, I'd be honored to walk through it with you. You can book a reading with me at my website below. Astrology is a very powerful shortcut, a very catalytic tool. For those of us who are self-reflective, another way to uncover your natural dharma, your oxygen supply, is by turning inward. Simply pause and reflect, because these next 3 questions might reveal more than you might expect. First, what do you think the world most needs right now? Second, what do you most need right now? And third, how are you going about fulfilling those needs? Your answers to these questions reveal where your oxygen is low. And often, what you most need and what you think the world needs might point to the exact same place. That overlap, that's the doorway into where your oxygen supply needs replenishing. And if trying to meet that need leaves you drained instead of alive, it may be that there's an even deeper need under the one you've named, or that the way you're approaching it just isn't yours. That's life nudging you back towards your own oxygen supply, your own dharma. What about you? What do you most need right now? And what do you think the world most needs? Drop it into the comments below. Your reflections might be the oxygen someone else needs to breathe a little deeper today. Because here's the cosmic joke. The oxygen we've been chasing, it's always been inside us, within. It's often hidden in what comes naturally, what brings you joy. And once you breathe from within, you discover a freedom, an ease that was there all along. Putting your oxygen mask on first isn't selfish. It's the very source of everything you have to give. The world doesn't need a half-breathing version of you. The world needs you, fully alive. Because when you're fully alive, when you tap into your natural dharma, the riches within you don't just serve you. They ripple outward, nourishing your family, your community, and the world. Your very presence becomes the gift you were always meant to share.